Welcome back to Black Expo TV. I'm your host, Brian G. Thompson. I am here with Dalton Dale Nixon the first. I know that's a lot, and there's a story behind the name, but what I'm gonna tell you is that you are gonna see him at the Black Expo doing a lot of different things all at the same time. He's a photographer, he's a creator, and he is Hampton born and bred. So Dale, welcome.
Okay, thank you. Glad you invited me.
So tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Okay. Well, basically, I took darkroom in 7th grade.
Okay.
And then I got away from it because I did pageants and theatrical groups and all this and the work I did with the Housing Authority doing youth and family programs for 40 years.
Wait, when you said you did pageants, what, as a model?
No, I produced them.
Oh.
I produced pageants and I produced theatrical performances.
So where did that come from? No, I mean, like, so I know about the photography, but like, how do we get to, you can't just jump to that. I need a backstory.
well, at 16, I created my career in working with young people. I created my career by speaking up for the community. And in that process, there was somebody that was going to close down the community center and the playgrounds in the community I worked in. And I had a youth organization, and I told my youth organization members, look, I'm gonna go do the talking. Y'all just come and show support, and we're gonna make this thing happen. And then so what happened in that process, I said what I had to say. The person had somebody, his chauffeur, to pick me up the next day. I met with him. On my word, the next day, the community center was open back up, and the playgrounds were open back up on my word.
Wow.
Then,
how old were you?
I was 16.
So at 16 years old, you had your own youth organization?
At 14, I had the youth organization. At 16, this is when this happened.
You started a youth organization at 14 years old?
Right. Well, I put it like this. What happened? Yeah, what happened was we got a person now that's the vice mayor of the city of Hampton, and a person that's a retired lieutenant colonel, and myself were cut from a basketball team at Sims Middle School. Okay. They already had their pre-selected team. Our first day, and so we've come back into the community. This white Italian, a good friend of mine, is still one of my mentors. He's 90-something years old. Saw us coming in the community with our heads down, and like, why y'all got your heads down? And then we told him what had happened. He said, well, y'all can do anything y'all want to do. So I collected $2 from everybody. I started the Lincoln Park Youth Organization. And over that period of time and starting that youth organization, I mean, I took kids all over the country. Donuts were 50 cents a box. We would sell 1,000 a Saturday, and then it went up to $1 and we was upset and we would sell 1,000 of them a day on a Saturday. Wow. And so in that process, we started that youth organization. The rest is history, which created my 40-year career, because then when the thing came up when I was 16 and that happened, and then there was some woman that was sitting in there who was the secretary, and who at the time I was like, what's she doing sitting over here? But then again, she came to one of my basketball banquets. And when she came to my basketball banquet, the cake wasn't there. She said, take my key. She would give me the key to the city car to go get my cake. I said, I don't have no license. And then as I was doing that, she came to one of my pageants, and I'm borrowing equipment from here, there, everywhere I can borrow equipment from. Yeah. And it's going pop, crackle, pop. And she said, well, what can we do about this, Dale? I said, we need our own equipment. We said, here with $10,000. And then for the next 25 years, I had that kind of support coming from the Housing Authority, because I was still working with them as a youth, and so I had that kind of support through the program. So we did the pageants and we did the theatrical groups and the whole 9 yards, which led to a lot of things. And all it was about was keeping young people busy, keeping them off the street, and doing some positive things. It grew to the point where you was a doctor or you was a lawyer and you had kids out here, they wanted to know how could they live in public housing so they could do the things that our kids were doing. We were known as the best theatrical group in the state of Virginia in 4-H. I mean, it was a lot of things that we did, People in Harmony. Wow. And there's some of the offsprings of that. There's one young lady named Valerie Woodard who was had the top gospel song in the UK about a couple years ago. It still plays on HU, Mighty God, Valerie Woodard, know. But it was a lot of kids that we had. Like I say, the Vice Mayor Steve Brown used to sing with our group.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so it's a lot of people. I mean, so over the years, it was just a matter of doing positive things to impact young people, to make a difference in the community, and we did that. The public housing we brought public housing from here to here, and people would come from all around the country and to see our public housing, see what we were doing, and it was a matter of just building relationships. I mean, we were like family. It was like family. So there's a lot more. I can't even we can't even go into all.
Bro, I promise y'all, I'm prepared for this interview, but the brother's like an onion. You just peel back and was like, what? So and the thing about it,
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Your business is just like you. It's like layers to it. Right. Like you do one thing. Tell us a little bit about all the different things that you do.
Because the thing is, I fell into the right place at the right time. And if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would do it all over again. I went to Norfolk State for 2 years, and then after 2 years at Norfolk State, I was home every day. My classes had to be over by 12 o'clock. I didn't have transportation at the time. I was catching cabs, Greyhound, and buses to get back and forth. I might get to school at 11 o'clock at night. I had room and board on campus, but I was in that community working every day.
Yeah.
And while I was working every day, so I created a career that even though I had a job, I had fun. I was doing what I wanted to do. And after 2 years, I say, enough of this, I'm wasting their money. And then that's the point where I started going full time when I was 20 years of age. But so I never stopped working from the age of 14 in that environment. And so it created in an environment where I didn't know what I was gonna do when I retire. I knew I would retire one day. Like I say, I did 40 years.
Yeah.
I get credit for 34, but I did 40 because I started at 14. I just was too young to get the benefits.
Right. Yeah,
and so in the 1990s, I picked up the camera again. I had a son, and Ronald Curry was in the All-American McDonald's game at Hampton High School and stuff. And I was taking him every day. And I picked up one camera because I remember I took doc room in the 7th grade, and I picked up a camera, but it won't right. The next day I took it back, bought another one. It won't right. The next day I took it. So until the last day I got it right. I picked up this Minolta and it was right.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I used to do foster care. And one of my kids was getting married down in South Carolina. She's like, Daddy, can you shoot my shoot my wedding? So I went down to South Carolina and shot her wedding. Then I came back here, shot my son's sports teams. And then from that point on, it was on. And then I was out here shooting all these political figures and doing all that stuff in late 1990s. And then about 2007, I say, I got to stop this. I'm out here making this money. I ain't reporting that and I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So I took it from a hobby and made it a job in 2017. But I was still working. And then 2014, I retired. So your salary's cut in half when you retire. So that was right on time. Yeah. Because now the photography took up that other half that I was losing. And then I had to wait another, because I was 54 years old when I retired. So then I had to wait till 62 to get that Social Security money. So the photography had to cover that for a while. And then 62 came, and then the photography goes back. So I'm doing something that I enjoy doing and been enjoying doing. And I do like a history. I tell a story. You know, I tell people for your wedding, I'm gonna have about 500 pictures. In the day, back when you did film, when I first started, when you did film, you did about 10 rolls, it was like 240 to 300 pictures. I tell them about 500, but they have about 1,500 pictures to choose from on average. And the package is about 125 pictures. So I have all that information. So it's like a history. I got external drives, the yin yang, going back 50 years.
Beautiful.
Of pictures and stuff of the program and stuff. Like they're going to do a Lincoln Park, Pine Chapel reunion. And one of the young people hit me up, Dave, which is not a young person anymore, hit me up again and say, well, you going to be there, aren't you? I said, yeah. You going to bring the old pictures and stuff too, right? Yeah, I'll be there. So you tell a story.
Yeah, tell people how they can find you on the internet. Okay,
you can find me on the internet with outstandingmemories.net. And I got to get better on the social media aspect. I got Instagram. Do I use it? No. But I plan on this summer. I got some young people going to be working with me this summer, and I'm going to go ahead and get the Instagram and the TikTok and all that stuff up. So next time somebody asks me that, I'll be like, I got the whole 9 yards.
Hey, well, I can attest as a client that what you can count on is dependability and realness. So check him out. He'll be at the Black Expo, and we'll see you guys next time. Black Expo TV. I'm your host, Brian G. Thompson. Thanks for joining us. We will see you on June 20th at the Hampton Roads Convention Center.